alright. I feel it. Do you feel it? I'm something out here more than right. I'm something out here out of sight. I'm something out.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to WDG, Underground Columbus, home of the unsigned artist. I'm Zayne Richard Simpson.
And I'm your host, Carlee J.
And you guys are listening to the Zayne and Carlee Project. We're on episode 10, finally.
Yeah, we've made
It's crazy.
Pretty far. I'm super excited. We've had so many people come on here and chat and talk. And, man, we've had some really inspirational, conversations. It has been phenomenal. Those of you who have listened, now, and those who are going to listen, these are some phenomenal people that we're talking to, guys. They have a story to tell, and I am so happy to be on the first hand of hearing these. Straight from them, getting to experience this with you, Zayne, and all of you that's listening. It's phenomenal. I've had a wonderful time, guys.
So, shout out, first of all, to our sponsors, ZRS Productions.
And my company, Kutched. It's not only a brand, but it's definitely a lifestyle.
And Anchor. Anchor.fm or the Anchor app. You guys can check it out, download it. If you guys are trying to start a radio show or podcast, it's one of the best places to do it. It's free to download. You can edit, you can cut, you can record all from your phone, and you can make a little bit of money with no minimum listenership. It automatically shares it to all the major streaming apps as well. So make sure you guys check that out. Once again, you guys can tune in on WUDG Columbus Radio on Facebook if you want to watch the live stream video that we're doing, or you can check it out on Instagram, the Zayne and Carlee Project, and you guys can watch us live. If you guys missed a live recording, make sure you guys go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Buzzsprout, or any of the other platforms that have podcasts on it. We're pretty much on every one of them. And you can also find the live stream videos from our previous episodes on my website, ZayneRichardSimpson.com, under videos, under the Zayne and Carlee Project, or on YouTube, Zayne Richard Simpson. So, today we're talking to DJ Kayper. She should be calling here in about a minute. She is an international recording artist. She's from the UK originally, and she is signed with DGI Management.
Yeah, so... Man, her live streams that she has been doing since quarantine, I'm sure she's been doing them before, but, us recently, coming across her, wow. She knows how to get a party started virtually. It's phenomenal. I can only imagine what she's like live. You guys, you have to check out one of her, channels, YouTube channels, or I think she goes live on Instagram, so... Man, you got to check her out. She's phenomenal. She's super talented girl. I'm super excited to chat with her, ask her some questions, and kind of get to know her a little bit and have you guys get to know her as well.
Yeah, it's ironic. I actually was just looking up DJ videos on Instagram one day and saw a video come across, and it was this chick DJing. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And she was doing all this scratching and mixing. Oh, she's calling now, so I guess I'll let her tell her story to you. 1 second. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How's it going?
It's going well. How are you? How are you doing?
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
You're live on WDG Columbus Radio right now.
I am?
Yep.
Yeah.
Live on the air. So, thank you for your time and calling in. We really appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I see you have a lot going on all the time, and the segment we're doing right now is really talking to people about how they got their start and what they're doing now, and then kind of how they were affected by COVID. Whether we've had DJs, actors, business owners, or whatever on here, everyone's been affected differently in their own way and found ways to kind of combat what they've had to deal with. So it's good to be able to hear many different people's stories. So we definitely appreciate your time.
Great, thank you.
So yeah, absolutely. So first, I'll have you kind of introduce yourself to everybody who's listening and tell them a little about who you are and what you do and where you come from.
Yeah, I am originally from London, England. I've been DJing for probably around about 25 years now. I was a radio presenter on the BBC for quite a few years, for about 7 years. Was a promoter back in London, was a traveling, touring DJ for many years. And then about 4 years ago, I moved to New York, and I've been living in Brooklyn ever since. And I used to tour around the States as well, and I did, and up until the pandemic, I still did that. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see how that heavily affected things.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So where'd you get the name Kayper from? Because that's not your original name, right? That's not your real name, right?
No. No. No, that's not my real name. My real name is Kajal Bakrania, but Kayper was more of a kind of like a childhood nickname. My friends back in high school, probably when I was around 11 years old, everyone kind of had to have a tag name, like a graffiti name,
Right.
And we used to tag the London buses as like on our way home from school. And yeah, I was named Kayper because I guess I was kind of the one that used to get into trouble a lot. I was quite mischievous, and so I got named Kayper, and it kind of stuck. And I was DJing. I had started DJing around that time as well. So my friends were like, "Oh, you should be called DJ Kayper or Kayper or whatever." And yeah, it just stuck.
That's
nice.
awesome.
It's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's phenomenal. You've been DJing for 25 years.
I was wondering.
I am 25, so like you've been DJing you've been DJing as long as I've been alive. That's fantastic. So this has been, you know what I mean? This is not something new to you. This is something you have dedicated, majority of your life to.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How did you get started with DJing?
So originally, I mean, I was always interested in it. I had a few cousins that used to DJ in the early 90s, and I kind of grew up around DJs, and I would always watch my cousins practice and stuff. And then when I was about like around 10, 11 years old, I used to play the drums at school, and I wasn't very good at all. But what I learned from playing the drums was how to keep things in time, beat timings, and all that kind of stuff. So my brother actually wanted to be a DJ. I have an older brother. He's like 7 years older than me, and he wanted to be a DJ, but never really took it seriously. He bought one turntable and like a tiny, like little, very cheap mixer, and he tried, and then my cousin had given us another turntable, but it didn't work properly. And he had tried to DJ, but then he kind of lost interest. And I would come home from school and just mess around on the decks and stuff. And then picked it up really quick, and didn't really know that I had picked it up quick. I just had no idea what I was doing, and apparently I was good at it, and that's pretty much how it started. And then once I knew that I had a passion for it, I wanted to continue. So since the age of 11, I've just continued along that path.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. So just kind of with practice and just kind of practice. Did you like take any classes, or did you
self-learn, self-taught yourself?
No, there wasn't. When I started DJing, there's no YouTube, there's no social media.
Yeah.
There really was nothing like that. So how I learned was really by ear. There was an album called "He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper" by Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff, and I had found it somewhere lying around in my house, and I happened to just put it in the tape deck, and it played on this track called live from Union Square, which was a live recording of Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff performing in New York.
That's awesome.
And there's a part in that track where Will Smith says to Jazzy Jeff, hey, show everyone the Transformer scratch. So I would listen to that part on tape, and I would play it, try to emulate it, and then rewind and play that part again, and I'd go over it again and again and again until I could figure out what he was doing just by ear. And that's pretty much how it started. And then, you know, obviously listening to radio DJs and stuff like that, I would listen to them. And then later on, you know, a few years later, I was kind of into the whole, DJ battling kind of world. And I would watch, DJ Craze and Rock Raider and all these videos that you used to be able to get back in the day, but on VHS tapes. And yeah, that's pretty much how I learned. Before the internet.
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, back in the '90s. So you were actually using vinyls, and you had to take vinyls everywhere with you, didn't you? Before they had all these controllers, and even the turntables now are so much different, you know, than they used to be. That's crazy.
Yeah, I used to carry a lot of vinyl around with me. I mean,
crates.
If I think back now, I don't even know how I used to carry all that vinyl around with me, but I did.
Yeah, wow.
Funny. So what would you say is, is there a big difference between DJing when you were in the UK and now, like being in America? Like, is there anything that's like a lot different, or anything that you like more about being over there or about being over here?
I do miss the variety of music that I was able to play in the UK. The UK is kind of like a melting pot of so many different cultures and so many different, people that it was kind of hard to not grow up on so many different styles of music. So, you know, we grew up on like house and drum and bass and jungle and UK garage, and then we had grime, and then, you know, there's just so many influences around me. It was pretty hard for me to just stick to one genre. But, you know, the foundation was always hip hop, I guess, because that's what I grew up on mainly, and that's what everyone was listening to as well. But, you know, there was all these other genres that everyone had to play, and you just couldn't really get away from it. So I do miss the variety of music that I could play. But, you know, one good thing about silver lining of everything that's happened in the past year is, you know, streaming online has given me the opportunity to get back to that, really, and kind of get back to my roots. So yeah, I do miss that, but, you know, it's all good.
Yeah.
What would you say over the last 25 years is your favorite performance you've done, or one of your biggest accomplishments so far that you're proud of?
That's a tough question. There's been so many. I think playing. I played at Glastonbury one year, which is I guess it's the UK's version of Coachella, I think. Yeah. But I played at Glastonbury to, you know, thousands and thousands of people. There's not one particular moment, I'd say, but that was one of them. DJing at a club called Printworks, which it's a converted print factory in East London, and it's huge. It's like so big. But it's kind of like a long tunnel, and the screens the screens go like kind of from the floor to this massive like ceiling, and it's incredible when you're there, and it's like real kind of underground warehouse type of vibe. I love playing there, and it was one of my dreams to play there. But yeah, there's been so many moments, I can't really pick one in particular.
That's awesome. That's phenomenal. I love the underground like vibe, rave vibe. That's like my thing. So I can just imagine this place that you're talking about. I'm like, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so wonderful.
hmm
Yeah, so, kind of to get a little bit into the COVID thing, with you being, from UK and like being in New York now, like how were you affected by COVID personally?
Um, yeah, I mean, personally, I guess everything seemed great at the start of 2020. I thought it was going to be the best year ever. Um, and then by, I think it was like March the 15th, I was supposed to go, I was literally about to take a flight to South by Southwest in Austin to perform there. And then I get a phone call from my manager saying, I think it's cancelled, and just like everyone, I thought that this was only going to go on for a couple of months. So I was like, all right, cool. Started DJing on Instagram at first, just to pass the time. And when I quickly realized that it wasn't going to end very soon. So, slowly moved on to Twitch and realized that there's just a whole different community on Twitch, and it's really kind of saved me, to be honest, because I don't really know. I think I would have lost my mind just not being able to do anything or be able to play music to people. But now I have that, and I have my channel to be able to connect with an audience around the world, not just one club. Because before, I was just flying from city to city, and I wasn't necessarily doing anything different. I could go from one city and play one set and play the exact same set in another city.
Right.
So really what Twitch has done and what DJing online has done to me is made me kind of get back to the roots of why I started DJing, and I'm big into music again. I don't like to repeat the same music ever in my stream. So every single week I'm looking for new stuff and new remixes and new edits and stuff like that. And it's really just kind of brought my passion back to DJing, whereas before I was kind of getting quite bored with it and bored with the traveling. And I'm not saying that I won't go back to it, but it definitely has helped me a lot to get back to the roots.
Yeah.
The reason why I started this in the first place. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure, it's the 21st century and, music changes, you know what I mean? So you were able to kind of, grow a little bit and just, get back to your roots, but also, dip into some other stuff because you had the time to do so.
Yeah, definitely. I had so much more time to find music. That's what I do for most of the week. If I'm not making music, then I'm finding music to play. And I didn't have that time before, So there's definitely a silver lining to all of this for me.
That's good.
And I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely gave everyone that time to just kind of sit back and relax and just kind of breathe a little bit. We got to spend some time with our close family. I mean, sometimes, obviously, because of COVID, we had to do the social distancing, but, you're able to kind of just do some self-reflecting and, spend time with
kids and family. And
I've definitely spent, being able to spend a lot more time with my husband and, with my dog. Before I was just traveling for most of the week, 4 days a week, and by the time I'd get back to New York, I'd be exhausted and I'd need to recover for a couple of days, and then it would be the same thing over and over again. So I've definitely, been able to spend more time with my family and just think more about what I really want to do and what's more important to me, So, yeah.
I think that's a lot of, everyone that we've chatted with this, couple weeks, our first few episodes kind of had that same feeling, you know what I mean, of able to kind of self-reflect and see, what was important. Will they let this kind of affect them negatively or just kind of use it as, fuel to
get better at what they do, perfect your craft, you know, things like that.
Exactly. Yeah, this is definitely the time, you know, all the things that you thought you didn't have time to do before, this is really the time to do it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely I think has helped us all grow in different ways. But, you know, it's what you make of it. It's unfortunate that we've had to go through all this, and like I've said many times to many different people, it's affected everybody from the top to the bottom. You know, it doesn't matter where you are, what you do, how much money you make, or whatnot. It's affected everyone from the bottom to the top. So everyone's feeling and seeing it in different ways. And I'm glad that a lot of people are able to see the positives in it. So did you do a lot of live stream before? Were you mainly doing concerts and tours and stuff like that? And then the pandemic is what brought that on, like brought that back?
Yeah, I definitely was not live streaming before. I tried it once, I think, a couple of times. I was trying to like you know, do like Instagram lives from my gigs, like if I was DJing in a club and stuff. But then you have to, you know, rely on the internet connection of the club, and it just wasn't that great. And yeah, I definitely wasn't live streaming that much before. I'd done it once or twice. And then, yeah, I pretty much spent last year figuring out how to be a live streamer. And luckily, you know, there's a gaming company called EVGA who reached out to me, in fact, and quite a few DJs as well that I know. And they were like, hey, we want to build you a computer. And I'm like, okay, what's the catch? And they're like, well, you just got to shout us out. And they literally built me a PC tower, like an actual gaming computer, just to make my streams better.
That's awesome.
And then, Roland, who make you know, music equipment and also streaming gear as well. They gave me this streaming mixer so I could connect all my cameras and audio to it. And you know, I'm lucky in that sense that I got that support. You know, so I started off. If I think about it right now, I started off like last year just DJing with my iPhone on Instagram, and now I have like this whole big control station, live streaming control station. It's kind of crazy to see how far I've come with the live streaming.
Yeah, well, you're super good. So like everyone's like, yeah, let me give her some stuff to like make her sound better because this is phenomenal. Let's hear this stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. Like we're having a conversation now because I saw one of your live streams. It was probably like last year. It's probably sometime when you started doing it.
Yeah.
You had done some mix on there, and I showed Carlee. I was like, "Oh, check this out!" And now we're having a conversation with you. So it's awesome that you were able to keep that going because, you know, a lot of people who DJ haven't DJ'd really that much in the last 12 months. I know myself included. I tried to do a Twitch thing. It didn't really work out for me. So I'm glad you got it to work out for you because a lot of people told me the same thing. Like, yeah, I tried it, but it didn't really work. Some people, I'm like, man, some people are killing it on Twitch, though, or killing it with these live streams. So I'm really glad it worked out for you because, you know, it's...
I think you have to just be consistent and not worry too much about the numbers and stuff. You know, if you're consistent, people will find you.
Just play.
And you know, if you keep a set time and a set day or set days that you're going to stream, people will find you eventually. You just got to kind of keep at it and not give up, really. So yeah, maybe
True.
You got to get back on there.
Yeah. I might have to do that. I've been doing it on YouTube lately. Like I've just been recording myself and doing like a thing and then posting it up on my YouTube channel because that way I can still do it. Like I love playing music. And it's been so hard to not play. So I'm just so happy to see everyone who is like getting this stuff out there because music is so therapeutic. And, you know, especially in this type of, you know, situation we're going through, I think it's very important that people get to hear music and get to hear new music at that, you know, and get to see that live interaction. Like, you know, you getting on there and getting on the mic and talking with the people that are watching your stream, that type of stuff. They still get that interaction, and I think that's super important because we've been totally cut off for that for the last 12 months,
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice feeling to know that you're connecting with people. You never know what someone's going through, what kind of day they've had, but the fact that you can play music and make their day better is quite comforting for me as well.
So are you doing all your live streams from your house?
Yeah, mainly. There's a few streams I've done from like a studio. But mainly I'm just in my house. I have my live stream set up in my living room.
Right.
So I have a separate studio for my production stuff, which is just another room in my house. And then I decided to put it in my living room because I kind of wanted to have that intimate feeling, and I wanted people to get to know me and my family and see my dog and my husband and stuff, and it works. People like it. It feels more relatable, I think.
That's awesome. So have you pretty much been in your house, like not really going anywhere since this started? Are you still quarantining yourself, or have you been moving a little bit? Yeah.
I did a few things. Like I said, I did a live stream. I actually put together like a virtual festival last year. I think when was it? Sometime in November, to encourage young people to vote. When that was all going on, and I was able to. It was like a 15-hour live stream, and I managed to get together all my favorite DJs. It was like Questlove, Jazzy Jeff, Jermaine Dupri, and just a bunch of other guys.
Jermaine Dupri.
And that was actually from a studio in Austin, Texas. But yeah, apart from that, I've just been at home. And also right now it's so cold. I don't even want to go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do not blame you
there at all.
Imagine
how cold it is in New York versus Ohio.
It's pretty cold here, so I can't imagine it's too much warmer there.
Right.
That's awesome, though. That's awesome that you're able to do that, especially get some of your favorite DJs together. That's pretty awesome. Isn't it crazy how long ago the election was, voting? You think about it, we just had the inauguration a week ago, but when you think back, November, everybody voting, all that stuff had gone on, back and forth in the battle, and that's already been, 4 or 5 months now? 4? 4 months, yeah. November, December, January.
It feels like
about to be February.
Ages ago.
It does. It feels like ages ago, but, it's...
People were, I don't know, promoting their opinions, I guess, their choice of presidencies for the entire year, years in advance. Yeah. So it was Trump versus Biden, and
I mean it was a pretty crazy year for sure. I mean,
all around,
just everything going on, all between COVID, the election, and just everything else. Every day there was something else. You had that explosion over in I can't even think where was that. You know what I'm talking about though, right?
The one that recently happened, the explosion. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was pretty recent.
It was in Lebanon. It was in Beirut.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was going on. There's just so many things that happened, and you're just like, wow,
I've watched
what
way too many
year.
movies. I'm like, what's real?
Yeah, I know. It seems like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It seems like it, but it's crazy what's happened.
Well, We're getting into a new year. I know we're about a month in now, and
nearly.
I'm hoping that everybody is finding, everyone's found a way to adapt over the last year, and now hopefully we start moving back towards something a little bit more normal, and concerts and movies and all that type of stuff, and things start changing a little. But other than DJing and other than music, what have you done over the last year to keep yourself sane, and what have you done to keep yourself entertained? Other than that, just spending time with your husband and being at home, and what type of things have you done to keep yourself entertained when you're not focusing on music or producing or DJing?
Yeah, just honestly, what else is there to do but go to the gym? I'm lucky enough to live in a building where my trainer lives in my building.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I have a gym 2 doors down. And during during the lockdown, they didn't actually shut down the gym. We were really lucky. But you had to like make an appointment to go to the gym, and there was only like 2 people allowed to go in there at a time. But then once lockdown was over, you know, I've pretty much just been doing that, just like fitness stuff and just watching a lot of Netflix shows and Amazon Prime shows.
Isn't that the truth?
I rewatched Breaking Bad.
I started it for the first time. Yeah.
You started it. Yeah. Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
God.
It's pretty good. It's really good. I'm into it. I haven't.
It's addictive.
Yeah.
Very addictive.
Yep. I like surpassed Zayne. He had like fallen asleep or went, to his office to do something else, and I just kept watching it. And I'm like a whole season and a half ahead of him. So like,
so I gave up.
He kind of gave up on me.
I have to start over again.
Yeah. But that happens to me all the time.
Yeah. How is New York been with like the COVID thing? Like, I don't know, like Ohio, we've been really strict. I mean, are you guys on a curfew? Like, we have a curfew. Things have.
No, you have a curfew? Oh my God. No, we don't have a curfew. We so indoor dining is closed, but we still have outdoor dining, which was fine up until
it got cold.
Maybe November. Yeah. But now, it's so crazy because I keep seeing people, they still try so hard to go and eat at a restaurant, and it's freezing cold. You can see they're just shivering and they're like
sitting outside in the cold.
Trying to eat their hot soup, and it's like immediately cold.
Especially going to, I don't know if I want to go to a fancy restaurant and sit outside and eat, that's crazy.
We were in D.C. and we tried to do that. They were like, oh, it's in like a heated tent. And we're like, okay. Like,
it was not heated.
It was not a heated tent.
It was on the sidewalk.
It was in the sidewalk. Like, we were like, all right, we're not
doing the worst thing is they have the heated lamps and stuff, but you have to share it because they can't have one for each person at the table. And you're pretty much like sharing it with the other table, and so basically you're just trying to move closer and closer to the lamp, and it's just like the worst thing ever. It's not great, but other than that, I mean, everything is kind of open. But we're not on lockdown. I'm not sure about schools. I'm not sure if schools are open or not. But I did see some school kids running around the other day, so I guess they are open.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, so for us, it's like private schools are open. Like my son goes to private school, so he's fully in school. He just has to wear a mask. But then all the public schools around here are all virtual, or they're like half virtual. So you go to school during the week, half of the time online, and the other half of the time you go to school. So you go to school like 2 days a week. So they're like hybrid learning, I guess they're calling it. So that way, because I mean, I feel like it had to be very difficult and hard, not only hard on parents, but I think it takes away from the education of the kids, having their parents who are not, like I'm not a teacher at all. I could teach some things, but not what they need to learn in school. So, all the stuff that they need to be learning, especially at a young age, like English and things like that, to help them read and write, we can help to an extent. But that's the whole point of the education system. So I feel like it's definitely taken away a little bit from that. So the hybrid learning, I guess, has been able to make it so that they can kind of be at home and do it virtually, and then have a couple days where they're actually face to face. So I know our schools are kind of like that. And then we are on lockdown. We actually today they just extended our curfew because it was 5 a.m. You can like go to work, do all your stuff or whatever, but everything, bars, restaurants, clubs, all that stuff can be open, but you can only be open until 9:30, and then you have to stop serving and stop everything. So you have to be out the door by 10, home by 10 o'clock. So
wow.
Yeah, so they extended it to 11 tonight. So tonight everybody gets to stay an hour later, and then they're talking about by the beginning of next month, everything should be back to normal, no more curfew. So I'm hoping they start like fully opening the clubs. Like, obviously it's a social distance and masks, but they should be able to do like clubs and restaurants and stuff like back to normal hours at least, which will be nice because.
Yeah, I mean it's sad. It's sad to see a lot of the places that I used to go to there anymore. I see them boarded up.
Yeah.
And it's quite sad, you know. But I mean, what can you do?
Yeah, a lot of places weren't able to survive after a few months, especially smaller or newer businesses, regardless of what type of business they are. I mean, to pay their rent, electricity, and then all that stuff, especially places that thrive on people coming in, like clubs or restaurants. If you don't have the people coming in, I mean, the good thing about restaurants is they can have, still serve food. They can still do DoorDash, or like people can order and come pick it up. So in that way, they at least are making some money. But clubs and bars, I definitely think was the worst, because number one, they have people who work there lost their jobs. Anybody in the entertainment industry, like DJs or like audio engineers or anything like that, can't work. And then the whole bar as itself, they thrive on either door sales, ticket sales, or alcohol sales, and none of those three things are happening. So a lot of them had to shut their doors and most likely won't be able to reopen. So it's sad, and it'll be an interesting rebuild for a lot of people to see what happens. Yeah,
for sure. And I know, as sad as it may sound, I know that New York won't be New York for a good couple of years. It's going to take a long time to get back to what it was.
Man, that's crazy. Well, kind of bring things back a little bit. If you were to give, some of our listeners a piece of advice, someone that aspires to be a DJ, or, just anything, to do with the entertainment industry, give our listeners some advice that you want them to hear.
I think, if you want to be in music, or if you want to be a DJ, the main thing is make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. The main reason should be because you love it, and because you have a passion for it, and just keep at it. Like it can be overwhelming when you see other people that have already been doing it for a while, or already out there and stuff, and you don't know where to start. But the point is to start, and to there's so many tutorials and YouTube videos and all kinds of stuff out there, so much help out there these days that you have everything in front of you. You just got to get going. So don't give up, and keep at it, keep practicing, and be the best you can be, I guess.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's definitely a trend that we've had with everybody on here. Like, just whatever you want to do, like whether it's DJing or starting a clothing line, like our guest yesterday, or being an actor or actress, like do what you want to do, go after it for the right reasons, and don't give up. You gotta push yourself to do it, and don't give up, even if there are hurdles, or sometimes you may doubt yourself, or you may doubt what you're doing just because things get frustrating and hard at times. But if you don't give up, I mean, you're another person who's a product of it,
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, if you think, back to, the beginning of our conversation, the way that I started, I didn't have any help. I didn't have anyone to show me how to do anything. And again, there was no internet. So, now, like I said, you have everything. Everything you need to know is on the internet and on YouTube, and there's nothing that you can't Google or watch. There's no tutorial out there that doesn't exist.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So just study as much as you can.
Yeah, that's definitely a positive too. These days is we do have stuff like that for people to learn. Somebody wants to learn to do pretty much anything, they can get on YouTube and learn how to do things these days. It's definitely a leg up from a lot of things that back in the 90s we couldn't do. So.
Yeah, hearing you kind of explain that you were putting the tape in, and I could just like picture you putting like a little cassette tape into a board, and you're just like playing.
Have you ever seen those? You ever seen those?
No, I've never seen one of
So
those.
how I have
Maybe on like a movie.
My controller. So on the front of those, there used to be like a slot you would open up, and you would actually put in, because like she was talking about earlier, they used to have, like when you first started, like back when Dr. Dre and like back in the day, you would actually use vinyls. Like you would play the song like this, the whole song. Like you would have you would have each different vinyl you'd have to change out. You know how we just used we digital now, right?
Yeah.
Well, then after that they were able to do cassettes, and then they did CDs too, right? They did CDs at one point where you could put the CDs in the front. So you know how we have the controllers. It's the same, but we didn't be able to hook up our MacBooks and just pick our songs on Serato. Before it was like the CDs. So it's crazy because I never got to do it. Like, you know, I started DJing like 2 years ago. So it's always been digital for me. I've never had to even see the cassette or the CD aspect of it. But I have seen those before because, you know, when I did learn in a school. So I did get to see all those type of old school controller things. So it's pretty interesting to see, like, you know, and for me it's not like I love it. I love what I do, but for people like you, it's so much different and it's so inspiring because you guys get to see where it started, like back where things started in the 90s to where they are now. It's just probably like, man, it probably is a lot. Is it a lot easier for you, like, to do things now because you don't have to deal with all that stuff? You can just do it right with your laptop. It probably makes it easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, you know, having to it's a lot. You know, records were expensive.
Yeah.
You know, if I bought a piece of vinyl, and if it was like an import, usually it would cost like £8-9 each vinyl. So imagine, you know, the amount of vinyl that I have at home. I didn't bring it over here to the States.
Right.
Back home in London, I have a whole room with every single wall filled with vinyl from the floor to the ceiling.
Wow.
So you know, think how much money we had to spend on music, and now you can just go online, and there's, you know, so many, you know, places that you can find music, and you can just download it for free even sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's a lot easier, and also I don't have to carry anything around me. Carry my laptop around. But yeah, it definitely is a lot easier, you know. And you know, back in the day, I know I sound really old now, don't I? Back in the day, you know how you have cue points on your controller or whatever it is that you use. We had to use tape. So you would put tape on the groove of the record, and you would have to get a little blade and put some tape on the blade, and then you would push it right onto the exact part of the groove of the record, then that's how you would make cue points.
Oh my gosh, really? Old school cue points. That is insane. Yeah, I never even thought of that. I didn't even think about that aspect of it. Yeah, I mean, with things like CDJs and DDJs now, like, everything is right there. So you still use turntables a lot. Do you even use a controller, or do you always use vinyl or turntables?
I just use Serato, and I prefer to use turntables. I use CDJs as well if they're there. You know,
You use a Rain?
I use Pioneer. Turntables, and I use a Pioneer S11 as a mixer.
Cool.
And yeah, I just use Serato vinyl and
awesome.
My laptop.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's just like I said, it's awesome to talk with somebody who's been doing it for so long. I definitely think out of everybody I know, you're definitely a person that's been doing the longest. You've seen so many things, and that's awesome. I didn't even think about the cue point thing. Didn't even think about that. That's so nuts. That's pretty cool though. That really is. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Other than that, is there anything that you would like to that you'd want anybody to know, or anything that you would like to talk about before we wrap up for today?
Yeah. I mean, if you guys want to check me out, then you can see me DJ on vinyl or whatever. Every Friday, usually I'm on from 6 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, like, come and check me out on Instagram. And there's, like, you know, loads of videos that you can check out with me on YouTube if you want. And yeah, maybe, hopefully, you know, if I can inspire one person, then that's cool, you know. Yeah, just come check me out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely go check her out. She's awesome. She's a good
bomb.
time. Yeah.
She's bomb. Yeah. Like I said, when I found you, like when I came across one of your videos, what was it? It was a Red Hot Chili Peppers. You were mixing Red Hot Chili Peppers with something else, and a video you made on Instagram, and I was like, man,
Oh, really?
yeah, I forget what else it was.
Nice.
It was Beastie Boys, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think it was I think that was might have been a Serato in the studio in the mix thing.
Yeah.
Maybe that I recorded in the London Serato studios. Yeah, there's loads of those videos.
That's awesome. Yeah. I was like, man, this is awesome. And then, yeah, boom, here we are, right? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, if you want to shout out your social media for everybody, and, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just Instagram at Kayper Official, Kayper Official. Also on Twitter, Kayper Official. Also, you can check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Kayper Official. So pretty much Kayper Official everywhere. And also, if you want to check out my my SoundCloud, I think my SoundCloud is Kayper Official. I think.
Yeah.
I'm
sure you'd pop up.
Yeah. Or it might just be Kayper. And then also I'm on Spotify. You can check out my music there. Just under Kayper, not Kayper Official. That one I know.
Yeah, it's Kayper Official on SoundCloud.
Yes.
I checked it out for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem at all. Want to make sure they know. But yeah, guys, make sure you guys check out Kayper. She's awesome. And we really appreciate your time and you taking the time to tell us your story and a little bit about what you went through with COVID. And that's awesome, man. It really is.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And when hopefully when things open back up, we'll see you live somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm going to that warehouse with the screen from the floor to the top, and it's like a tunnel. That's where I'm going.
Printworks, is that what it was called?
That's where what is that saying?
You say Printworks?
Yeah, it's called Printworks.
Printworks.
You should go on YouTube and check out the videos of that venue. It's insane.
I sure will.
Yeah, we'll do that. Next time you're at Printworks, we're coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2022, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully 2021, but we'll be a little, Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. We'll shoot
It's
for 22.
wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. But yeah, thank you very much for your time, and enjoy the rest of your night, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Bye,
have a good one. Bye. Another great guest, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. For me, especially being a DJ and not DJing as long, I love talking to people who've been through it because, I know Shift and, a lot of other people who've been doing things for a long time, but she's been DJing for 25 years, which is crazy. I didn't even think of that.
I mean, looking at her, she doesn't look 25, or she doesn't look older than 25.
She doesn't. No, and she's 37.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
she said 25 years. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
But man, that is something I didn't even think about when she said that, and that's pretty cool to me.
The cue points,
The cue points.
It's crazy because, I didn't, you know what I mean? Of course, because, I'm not a DJ, and that's not something that I do. But, I've got to see more, obviously, with you doing it and, being at home with you. But thinking back to, 25 years ago, that's how DJs did it back then. They used the vinyls, and you know that, but you don't really know that because you haven't really chatted with someone that's had to go through that, through that time.
This Printworks place is dope.
All right. Well, I'm excited to check it out, guys.
Yeah, that's a nuts. I'll play a little clip of her music real quick for you guys. But man, that's pretty crazy to me, like I said. I tried to play a video to open this up for you guys, but it didn't work out. But here, I'll play a song real quick. Well, I'm just going to play a quick clip for you guys. You'll have to go check out the rest on your own. But, yeah, make sure you guys do that. You guys check out Kayper Official on all her platforms. If you guys go to kayper.co.uk, it actually has a link to all of her different, every single one of her platforms, as well as all her shows and her contact info, if you're trying to reach out for any purpose. So I just want to let you guys know that. So we're coming to the end of our show for the day.
Man, it was a good one, guys. I am so happy that you guys got to be here for this.
This is our last day for right now doing things with WDG. It's going to be weird to do it back at home. We head back to Cincinnati. We're going to be doing it from our home. It's going to be interesting. But we're going to continue to do it for you guys. We're going to be doing 3 shows a week about the same time. Next week, we will only have 1 show, and it will be on next Thursday, February 4th. We'll have our Prophet on here. He's a national recording artist, 2-time Grammy nominee. He was in Nappy Roots. He's also a novelist. He's writing a book, or has written a book. So make sure you guys check him out and tune in next Thursday so you guys can hear from him and his experiences and what he's been through, not only with COVID, but just in his life in general. He's a pretty interesting guy, and I definitely can't wait to talk to him. The following week, we have the EC Twins. They're also international DJ duo. They are from the UK as well. We'll be having them on here to talk about their experiences, how they got to where they are, and how COVID's affected them, what they've done to supplement and be able to continue as DJs. That same week, so that week we'll be starting our Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and that's just how we're going to do it. We'll have EC Twins. We'll have Taylor Steckman, which is Carlee's sister, tattoo artist, and she is a very phenomenal tattoo artist. She does all my tats. Shout out, Taylor. Nice Guy Tattoos in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. So she's pretty awesome. We're going to try to have her live in the studio with us, our home studio, and be able to do a face-to-face interview with that. And then on February 11th, which will be our 14th episode, we will have Alex Michael Turner, one of the homies. He lives in Los Angeles. He is a bodybuilder. He is an entrepreneur. He is he used to work with Live Fit. Now he's got his own company. He does a lot, and he's a good dude and very inspirational person. I've followed him for a long time before I knew him or became friends with him. So it's pretty cool to see people's journeys, and it's pretty cool to have somebody who you aspire to be like, or someone who inspires you to push yourself, and then you end up becoming friends with them. It's pretty cool. Or get to talk to them on the radio. Like, I saw Kayper, I'm like, damn, like, she's awesome. Because she does some really, really cool stuff that I don't know how to do yet as a DJ, and I love to see that type of stuff because it inspires me to push myself to another level. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then the next week we will have my friend Taylor. She's a model, actress. I'm not even going to try to pronounce her last name right now because I just don't know how to do it. I don't want to butcher it. Sorry, Taylor. February 16th, we'll talk to her. And then we will be talking to Rivals, a band. They're also out of Los Angeles. Good friends. We met them at Incarceration Festival. And that Thursday, we have an episode. We have it open right now. I'm not sure who. I think one of your friends is coming on, right?
Yeah, I'm going to talk to Jordan Rodriguez and see if he is available that day. He's a phenomenal model and has been acting for just a couple years now, and he is like a super big vegan activist, and I would love to chat with him a bit about that and have him talk to you guys about what he has going on. I think he just released a song or something. I haven't listened to it yet, but that's exciting. I hope you guys get to hear that from him. But follow us on IG. It is the Zayne and Carlee Project on Instagram. We do go live on our show, so we will have that live on there. I will make We will get a Facebook page up and running. Like that, follow, share, all of that cool stuff. Make sure you subscribe to Zayne Richard Simpson on YouTube. That is where...
post all of our episodes there, and they're on my website as well. So if you're not subscribed, you can check them out. But it'll directly take you to the YouTube link anyway. But yeah, like I said, we have many upcoming guests, a few full weeks. My buddy Mikey P, he's coming on here. He's a recording artist. My buddy Robert Shannon, he's an actor. He's done a lot of major movies. So we got some good people coming on, and I like to have a lot of people that have made it far in the industry and see how they've been affected by COVID, and also how they got to where they are, because so many people are trying to do similar things, whether it's being a recording artist, starting a business, being an actor, being a DJ, or whatnot. There's so many different avenues that people go down and that we talk to people on, and so many people are trying to do similar things, and they get discouraged from time to time. And it's good to hear from people that are there and who have gone through it all to get there, so you can kind of see, if you stick it out and you put in the work, you can make it too. Don't give up on yourself. We love you. We appreciate you guys tuning in from the bottom of my heart. I know I say it all the time. I appreciate it. I really, truly appreciate it. If it wasn't for the fans, if it wasn't for the listeners, it wasn't for the family, the friends, the people who support you, you wouldn't have anything. You can't have a business and you can't sell products without people to buy them. So everything that you do is so important to have people behind you. And I'm very appreciative to have the people behind us that we do, and the people that support everything we do. So thank you guys. We love you. WDG, we appreciate you for having us. We will be back. We may be working with Cincinnati Underground, or Underground Cincinnati, or maybe back here with WDG for a few more episodes later down the road. But we have a lot of other things that we have to conquer, so it's time to move on. But it was great to spend a little time here and get to do this for you guys. So make sure you guys still tune in and everything. Maybe I will continue to do my Twitch. Take Kayper's advice. I do get discouraged sometimes on that, and that's why. But I do love playing music, and this pandemic has been hard. So we'll see what happens. I'm working on things.
Yeah.
Working on things. But
proud of you, honey.
Yeah, appreciate it. I'm proud of you too. But for real, I love you guys. I appreciate it. Tune in. Make sure you guys check out Facebook, WDG, Columbus Radio. All the episodes are on that wall as well. So if you don't find anywhere else, you can check it out there. And as well as all the other radio shows that are on. There's tons of other radio personalities that do shows here. Make sure you guys check them out. They're all great people. They're great at what they do, and everybody's a product of the Ohio Media School. So once again, shout out to the Ohio Media School. Crystal, Phil, everybody, love you guys. We're gonna get out of here. Shout out to our sponsors, ZRS Productions.
Coached.
It's not just a brand.
It's not just a brand, y'all. It's a lifestyle. This is how we are living. Do you hear me? Confident, safe.
We got a lot to come, so make sure you guys check out Anchor FM or Anchor.fm or the Anchor app. Great place to start podcast if you haven't done it before. You can edit, record, do everything right from your phone, and get it going live. So make sure you guys check it out. This is the Zayne and Carlee Project on WUDG Columbus Radio. Check it out. Love you guys, and we'll hear from you soon.
Bye, y'all. Love you.
Today it feels so